working on still building some of the foundation of it. And that's what this meeting today is. So by the end of the day, hopefully you'll have some of your questions answered. You'll know who you want to go to brainstorm on the ones we can't answer. And you'll also know more about your colleagues and more about the program. And with that, I'm going to start introductions. There's one thing I actually did not do, and if someone could help me. Do we have enough? I think we have enough seats. A whole bunch of folks just came in. Oh, and this table's empty. I'll step back so it won't seem like you're in the front. Oh, you know, okay, so who's done conference organizing before? One thing I didn't come up with was a nice, short question to be answered when we're going around doing intros. What's a good question? Who's got an idea for that? What?
What's your favorite fruit?
Is that it? We got anything else? A question to start in the intros? Okay, we're going with what's your favorite fruit? Unless somebody has something better.
Oh, come on.
Your favorite bike part. How about your favorite bike part?
Bike part, yeah, that works.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Harry, you just got trumped. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, I'll answer it first. My favorite bike part, oh, I have two really, but one of them was on a mountain bike years ago when I could barely reach the brakes and I was so timid on the downhills, and they made it so the brakes were adjustable and you could actually reach the brakes with smaller hands. That was really nice. Chamois butter is another, I consider that a part of the bike.
Yes, absolutely.
I like that too. So if we could start with introductions, I'm just going to randomly, Heidi, do you mind going next and talking about your favorite bike part?
Okay. I'm Heidi Byerly, and my favorite bike part, I would have to say, is the saddle.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna it's important on long rides.
Although I would echo that chamois butter or as master or whatever brand it happens to be.
That's the one I've
It's
used.
part and parcel of the saddle.
And if you, also, I'm sorry, an introduction, say a little, just that you're one other speaker today, and if each person could just say what bikeway they're associated with, or why they're here today, real quick. Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking about bike counts a little later in the day, but I was part of developing the Covered Bridges Bikeway down in Cottage Grove, and I do bicycle tourism, planning and rural economic development.
All right.
Yeah.
Gary Turnerson, I'm from Sisters, Oregon, with the Sisters Trails Alliance, and we have 3 state scenic bikeways in the Sisters area now: the Metolius Loops, and which don't have signs, and
Which we'll talk about
which
later.
we'll talk about later. And we have Sisters Smith Rock and Highway 242.
Favorite
One
bike
of my
part?
favorites. I'm with you. Oh yeah, on a long ride, the seat's the most critical thing. Yes.
I'm Wendy Holtzman, also Sisters Scenic Bikeways. Gary's already told you the 3. And favorite bike part. Well, since several have already been covered, I'm going to go with my wheels. I love my wheels.
Oh yeah, those are
They're fast and they spin well.
Hey, Don.
Don Strand from Cottage Grove, filling in with the Covered Bridge Scenic Bikeway, and I guess my favorite part of the bike are the brakes.
Critical stuff.
Clearly, there's many really important parts on bikes.
I'm Heather Stanhope. I'm from the Grand, Oregon, and our bikeway is the Grand Tour, which is a figure 8 from the Grand to Baker City and back on the back roads, and roughly follows the Grand Tour Scenic Highway. And we have a second proposal in that's waiting to be adjudicated, and that is the Gold Rush.
Did you say favorite bike part? Did I miss that?
Oh, how about a helmet? Safety first.
Everybody good?
Peter Russell, transportation planner for Keys County. We were involved with getting the 3 bikeways in the county, both on our transportation system plan map, getting identified by the state as well. Favorite bike part, trip meter.
Is what?
The trip meter.
Oh.
George Gold, I'm the county engineer. She's kind of the guy that you would come to, roads, chip seals.
Oh, you're that guy.
Just by those topics.
So basically, that's what I'm here to talk about, is maintenance on roads and things like that. My favorite part, I'd have to say, is to this mountain.
Roger Roper with State Parks, Assistant Director here for Heritage Community Programs, which includes the Scenic Bikeway program. My favorite, I think I was most excited when I got a bike rack and I could start to buy more stuff, so that's my favorite part.
Mike Coster from John Day. I'm a proponent of Old West. I'm also a part of the Scenic Bikeway. And my favorite part is also the saddle. And my wife is excited. She thinks I have a saddle now that I may keep for a while. I'll make you a heck of a deal on 7 high-quality saddles.
I'm Harry Delgado. I'm with Travel Oregon. I'm with the Destination Development Team, so I kind of assist on general promotion and development of all scenic bikeways. My favorite bike part is a suspension fork, mountain bike suspension fork. Get you out a lot of binds.
Maura, can we just bounce over to you and then go to the next table?
Yes, Laura Schwartz, address Mountain View Scenic Bikeway. My entire bike is my favorite.
Nice.
And then back to Phil.
Phil Lindblom, and I'm the SK Development Association, and we'll be on the proposed scenic bikeway between SK and Detroit for and K7 doesn't apply, and also we propose going between SK and Timothy. Basically, what we want to do is take advantage of kind of the wilderness areas and many things we can do in the national forest. And my favorite thing, I think, is really the derailleurs that really kind of made us so much easier to lots of different things.
I'm Laura Crawford. I'm with the pathlesspedaled. We're going to be coming out to each and every one of your bikeways this year and doing some filming, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I think my favorite bike part at the moment are my purple pedals that I have on my road bike. Purple is my favorite color.
My name is Russ, and I'm also with pathlesspedaled and be coming out and doing the filming. And my favorite bike part of bike accessory is a handlebar bag. It's a great place. I can just stick the cameras there, feed bag, and all that.
Hi, I'm Natalie Inouye with Traveling County, and I'm on the State Bikeways Committee. I'm there representing the destination marketing organizations, so the CVBs and the chambers that you all work with. That's my role on the committee. My favorite bike part is probably the tag-along that let me go on the road for the first time with my kids and feel safe.
I'm Stacia Honnold, I'm from Portland. I'm unaffiliated with Bikeways, but I've biked a lot of them and often wonder who makes the decisions.
Stacia is basically one of our focus group folks. We are one-person focus group.
You have to focus hard.
I'm going to focus like this. But I love the scenic bikeways, so I wanted to come. And my favorite bike part is probably integrated brake shifters. I really like that.
I'm Lexi Wilson. I'm the Main Street Coordinator for Cottage Grove, Oregon. We are extremely proud of our Covered Bridge Scenic Bikeway. I participated in Cycle Oregon. I trained on that bikeway as well as the Lorraine Highway. I am quite in love with my granny here.
I'm Travis Palmer. I'm the Executive Director for the Cottage Grove Chamber of Commerce, and obviously we're affiliated with the Covered Bridges Bikeway. And I'm a tire guy. You know, it doesn't matter if it's bikes or motorcycles or cars. I'm the guy that walks into Les Schwab and just loves the smell. And instead of sitting in the waiting area, I'll walk around and I'll look at all the tread patterns on the tires.
I'm George Letchworth. I'm from the Mackenzie River, which is sort of out in the middle of nowhere. But we're in between Sisters and Oak Ridge. I submitted a proposal to have Ofter-Heide, which is the Forest Service road connecting the Mackenzie River to Oak Ridge. Anyway, that's been submitted. My favorite part of a bike is I have a specialized carbon frame bike, and it has little gel-filled openings on it, and I was able to explain to the bicycle people that that was 13th century technology. If you've been to Peru, they were smart enough to figure out that during earthquakes, that when you leave a void in a wall, the earthquake signal goes through, hits the void, and does what? Stops. And so those little openings on my bicycle makes my bike a little more comfy to ride.
And the zerts, yes, zerts, I have specialized too, I love my zerts.
And by the way, MIT offers a course that focuses upon ancient technologies. And that's one of them.
That's one of them, cool. I didn't know that, handy part, thank you.
I'm Doug Farrow. I'm on the State Scenic Bikeways Committee. And I guess my favorite bike part is probably my GPS computer, Garmin GPS computer. I would have to say that probably my least favorite is the brakes. I hate to use them.
I'm Robin Phillips, and I'm with ODOT and Public Transit, but I am the eastern third of the state, so I encompass the 3 bikeways out there, and I work with transit in those regions that help interoperability. I say modal permeability is a goal for all of us, and there's a lot more of it than we think about, and there are opportunities. So I'm here to support the Scenic Bikeways because I love to ride, and also to look for partnerships. My favorite part of my bike, I have to say, when I got my really nice Rupo, and I could start shifting with my fingertips, I got a blister.
My name is Jenna Stanky. I work for Jackson County in Southern Oregon. I work for the County Roads and Parks Department, so I work with your counterpart quite a bit, my peers. We have 2 scenic bikeways in the hopper. One is the Res to Rogue, which is a lower elevation, flatter type ride, and then one killer ride up the Mountain Lakes Loop, which is up from Ashland, up the hill, up across the plateau, and then back down. My favorite bike part is the new bike part of the moment, which is some new bar tape that I really like. So pretty easy. Lizard skins, they're called.
Jay Gibbs, I'm with the Blue Mountain Scenic Bikeway on the roads less traveled. My favorite bike part would have to be the quick release levers, because if you've got ODOTs here, because if you travel in Eastern Oregon on chip seal, it's something you can't very much.
I'm Cheryl Bates. I'm the Executive Director for the Hefner Chamber, and we're the proponent for our Blue Mountain Century Scenic Bikeway. And we're actually having our second ride September 21st, 22nd, so if you're interested in going, I have some hold-the-date cards. And my favorite part is the rider, because they come with the wallet in their back pocket, and they teach you that's what it's all about, right?
My name's Joanne Dewey. I'm with the Willamette Valley Scenic Bikeway, and my favorite part of the bike is the bike, which I just got a new one about 8 days ago.
It's brand new.
I'm Richard Hughes with the Willamette Valley Bikeway, and I'll just say I'll take the lead with Joanne here. The bike's the bike.
My name is Larry Miles. I'm with Willamette Valley Scenic Bikeway, and I just got a brand new Specialized saddle. It's gel filled, and I'm telling you, I never realized what comfort is. So it's the saddle.
I'm Christine McConnell. I'm with Central Oregon Visitors Association. We're the regional destination marketing organization for the Central Oregon region. And I think I just got a cruiser, so my favorite part of that cruiser is the handlebars, because it reminds me of the beach. I'm like a California girl, so it kind of brings back good memories.
My name is Hank Therian. I work for Visit Bend.
sit on the Three Sisters Scenic Bikeway board. And my favorite, well, I just started falling in love with skinny tires. I've been a mountain biker and cruiser rider for a long time, and really enjoying how efficient I am these days.
Excuse me, I'm Audrey Henry. I'm from Lake County. I'm the Economic Development Specialist. I started Toyota Outback last year, and we're considered the Outback in Lake County, so we proposed an Outback ride this year. My favorite part of bike is the water. I'm Anita Metlin, and I'm from LaGrande, Oregon, and one of the main proponents of the Grand Tour Scenic Bikeway. And we have the second one in the upper, and that's the Gold Rush. And it is good for aggressive riders, adventuring. And my favorite part of the bike is hard to identify because I really approve of and enjoy my water because I'm constantly thirsty and I enjoy smooth shifting. But I think my bike seat. You know, you can become so uncomfortable and not enjoy what you're doing, so I enjoy my bike.
I'm Jim Huff. I was with the committee that is trying to get the designation for the 12 Salem Scenic Bikeway, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. I'm retired now, and my favorite part of my bicycle was when I discovered toe-clips. I never knew I was an adult if I didn't have to keep stubbing the toe all the time riding the bicycle. So that's my favorite.
Bruce Bovington from Beaverton, Oregon. I'm on the 12 Valley Scenic Bikeways Committee. My favorite bike part is a finely tuned drivetrain, and I'm very impressed about how you got a visitor, a bike enthusiast from the 13th century to join us today.
I'm Mike Lockhart. I'm from Wallowa County, and I've been working with the group that is trying to get the Hells Canyon Scenic Bikeway approved. And we're going through that process now with thinking about it. My favorite bike is a bike.
I'm Stan Nowakowski with Madras Mountain Views Scenic Bikeway, proponent for it. And I was thinking, well, the rear derailleur I really like because I can shift. The steering tube I like because it directs me where I go. But I also ride a unicycle. So what do I compare the two? I said it's got to be the wheel. It's the most important.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm Kristen. I've met many of you in our workshops, but I work with Travel Oregon and lead our bike tourism development initiatives and rural tourism development initiatives. So my favorite part of the bike, my bike, is the vertical water bottle holder on my commuter bike that holds my coffee. Because when I went to bike commuting, I was really worried that I wasn't going to get my cup of coffee every morning, but it carries this, so I'm very happy about that.
Hi, my name is Dan Kaufman, and I'm with PDXK Productions and Crank My Chain Cycle TV. We're doing a live stream here today, and we're recording the event until 2 p.m. So really excited to hear about Scenic Bikeways. We like to shoot a lot of video, and we like working with folks like Russ and Laura, creating great videos about our great state and what we've got going on here. And my favorite bike part, well, that would have to be the sound system, of course. I like
Which is your vocal cords?
well, yeah, if I don't have an actual, music device on there, I will sing. But if I'm riding my disco trike, I actually like to put a large amplifier in there and play music, so everybody can hear me coming.
I'm Erin Borla. I'm the director of the Sisters Area Chamber of Commerce with Sisters to Smith Rock, McKenzie Pass, and Metolius Loop Scenic Bikeways. And my favorite bike part, I guess, is watching my 3-year-old ride his balance bike.
Walked in at the wrong time. Or the right time. I'm Tim Wood, State Park Director, and doing favorite bike park. That's the stand I put the bike in after I get back to the bike.
I'm Chrissy Curran. I work with State Parks in the Heritage Division. I'm Roger's deputy, and my favorite bike part is the reflector, the sparkly.
Good morning, my name is Liz Alman. I'm the recreation planner for Eugene BLM. We manage the Broad River Trail, which is the National Recreation Trail, which constitutes a good part of the Pepper Bridges Scenic Bikeway. And my favorite part of the bike, I have two. I like my bell, because I like noise. And I also like my bag, which makes that a real efficient cargo bag.
Thank you, everybody. I think we got all the introductions. Thank you, and welcome again. It's really great to be spending the day with you. One logistical thing I wanted to cover, because there's three kinds of bikeways in this room, I think. We have the already designated, which are on the map and has indigo color in front of you. There's 9 already designated scenic bikeways that have gone through the entire process. And then we have 2 Tualatin Valley Bikeway and Madras Mountain Views that are coming up for a vote by the State Parks Commission on May 8th, which means they have gone through the entire process of public meetings. The proponents have put a lot of effort into writing the bikeway plan, and now it's going to come to a vote for the May 8th meeting, and that'll be in Baker City. And then we have some that have applied to the program, and we have so many applicants that we are not going to be able to ride all of them this year and rate them, which is the very first step. And we, the Bikeway Committee is going to be working on that, and some other issues with some of the applied ones, like Fells Canyon, that have some particular. But we're working our way through, so it's really exciting. And so next year, when you're looking at the bikeway map that shows all the bikeways, there's going to be more. So that's just a logistical thing. And now, Kristen, I think we're ready to jump into the speakers. So I'm going to introduce Kristen, who is one of the very first people I met on all of this. Kristen has really been involved on the whole bikeways thing from the very beginning. When she started at Travel Oregon, there was a group of folks talking about, well, we want to do this bikeways thing. They don't know what it is. They might need a staff person. Where is that staff person going to be? How is this whole thing going to be shaped? And Kristen was in on that from the very beginning. She is also on the Bikeway Committee, meaning she's working with us to shape exactly what the Bikeway plan says, what we want from marketing, what and how we rate them. So she's been involved in every single step of the way of the whole program. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
All right, so it's great to see all of you guys. I know I've met most of you in the workshops that we did over the past year and a half. So some of this will be review for some of you in those workshops, but I also see a lot of new faces. So hopefully some of this will be new information. Alex, I think put this up front just because we know that in many of your management plans and many of your efforts to develop your bikeways, there's a lot of marketing activities that you want to do, obviously, to get the word out about the route. And so we want to make sure that everyone's really aware of what we're doing at the state level to help market not only the bikeways, but cycling in Oregon. This has been a major focus of our organization since probably 2004. We started the Oregon Bicycle Tourism Partnership, and then it's just grown and strengthened year after year. And it's really been in the last 2 to 3 years that our full, outward bound consumer marketing team has really embraced cycling. And so we're really, just excited about the progress that we've made in that arena. Before I dive into the marketing stuff, I'm just going to say a couple of things. One thing was we just finished up probably the most comprehensive bicycle travel study in the nation. The final report will be up by the end of the month at industry.traveloregon.com. But hopefully you guys are attending the Oregon Active Transportation Summit, which starts tomorrow. And we have a full session where we'll be going over some of those details. We had over 6,000 people actually respond to the survey. We looked at the different types of riding, and you'll be thankful to see day road riding weighed out at the top in terms of the number of trips that are being taken every year. We also looked at trip expenditures, looking at overnight trips versus day trips, and then even within the overnight trips, what kinds of accommodations they were using. So this is just a summary slide, and I'm not going to go into detail because we don't have time, but the average overnight per person spend was about $744, that's per day, and that's actually about $120 higher than our average traveler in the state. So we were very thankful to see that all of this time and energy over the past 9 years has been for good reason, that we do think this is a really important market for us to pursue in the state. And then the other thing is we looked at bicycle travel-related spending as a proportion of overall travel spending. And this is kind of how it shook out, just as a super thumbnail sketch, is that Central Oregon and the Gorge and Mount Hood has the highest percentage of bike travel spending as compared to overall travel spending. So that just means that it's a more significant part of their economy. But it also means that folks like Eastern Oregon, Southern Oregon, and the coast could be grabbing a larger market share of that bicycle travel segment. So it's a positive message all around. If you look at the exact economic impact, coast is far higher. And if you look at it in relative terms, they're definitely not grabbing the percentage that they could. And there's probably many reasons for that. So tomorrow, 3:15 p.m., come to our session, and I'll be going into a lot more detail. And then we'll be sharing the full report. And then I know this afternoon, one last thing, and I do want to keep an eye on the time, is that we will be talking about measurement, and what we do want to work with you guys on is that any kind of measurement we end up doing on the bikeway itself, we want to be able to measure economic impact sort of before and after the Scenic Bikeway structure. So we want to figure out how we kind of create common metrics that can then be compared against a statewide study, because that's what's going to be more powerful in conversations with transportation authorities and policymakers when you can really make that case as a comparison. So we'll be, I'm sure, evolving and talking about that over the next couple years. Now, just one other thing that came out of the bike workshops that does relate to marketing is that every single workshop we've done, Scenic Bikeways or other communities working on bike tourism, is that everybody wants a program to help educate their business community about who the bicycle traveler is and how to become bike friendly. So you probably saw on the agenda that we're going to share more about this program, that as a result of Mike Cosgrove, who basically initiated his own program around the Old West called Two Wheels Spoken Here. He was ahead of the curve and helped prompt us to really get a statewide program in place. So I'm just foreshadowing. We're going to go into more detail on that in the afternoon. So some of the marketing related initiatives that are underway on behalf of cycling and behalf of Oregon communities. One is the Ride Oregon website, and I just want to check, show of hands, who's aware that we have a site dedicated to bike tourism? Okay, most everyone in the room. All right, so we are just in the midst. We actually did some revisions to the site last winter that helps elevate the Scenic Bikeways on the website. You'll see on the left-hand side, we basically put them on the home page, and then we created a landing page for all the Oregon Scenic Bikeways. We're right in the middle of our sort of round 3 improvements to the site, and the Scenic Bikeways are going to move into our Find a Ride section, so that anytime you go to search for a road route, those Scenic Bikeways are going to be elevated in a certain way where you can find them. And we're cleaning up, I don't want to go into details, but we're cleaning up sort of the APIs, the integration with the maps, and so that the experience for the user is going to be a lot more, just going to be a lot cleaner. So if you've been on there and you've experienced some complications with the maps, those should be cleaned up by the middle of May. And hopefully you all have seen that we do have the routes that have been approved posted. And basically what it allows you to do is download turn-by-turn directions, download the great maps that Parks has made in PDF form, and then toggle on all these other things that come from a database: bike shops, attractions, restaurants, lodging, and basically plan your trip around the bikeway. And also just a reminder that we have an events calendar, so anytime you have a new event, particularly related to your Scenic Bikeway, please make sure to jump on. There's a suggest an event form at the bottom of the calendar page. We've also integrated cycling into our main flagship site, traveloregon.com. This gets about 7 million visitors a year. This is actually the shot that's showing on the homepage right now, thanks to Russ and Laura, one of our bikeways. And we have a cycling section within here too. It mostly guides people to Ride Oregon, but it also provides some of our favorite routes just to inspire people to get on a bike while they're thinking about their trip to Oregon. Throughout the traveloregon.com site, we also have trip ideas, seasonal features, itineraries, and you can see there's been a lot of focus on the Old West Scenic Bikeway over the last year, and Russ and Laura will be presenting next, but it primarily had to do with us doing a pilot project to take photography and do video on that route, but we'll talk to you more about what's going to happen with the other routes here in a minute. But one thing I just want to say, once we have photography and video, it's really easy for us to promote these experiences in so many different ways through our different channels. And so some of our different channels are social media outposts I don't quite understand this number, but we have like 2.2 million digital footprint a year through our social media outlets. So things get posted through here. They say typically 3 to 5 cycling posts per month. The Facebook promotion, which starts in May, this is our Adventurecation campaign. We basically promote a trip in each of Oregon's 7 regions. And in Eastern Oregon, it will be a bicycle trip with Ride Cycling Tours, which is a new bike tour company out of Bend, on the old West Scenic Bikeway. We have a general e-newsletter that goes out to 160,000 consumers. We typically do 3 to 4 cycling stories a year. Travel Oregon Outdoor e-newsletter. So this is a special newsletter that people opt into for the outdoors. It has about 12,000 subscribers, and we're doing about 5 to 6 cycling stories per year. And then we just released the new Travel Oregon Visitor's Guide, and this does do a feature on scenic bikeways, road cycling, and mountain biking. And I'm going to try to get copies to bring in at lunch so you guys can take copies of this home. We also do what we call brand advertising. So we actually have some short video slots that we're running through the Google TV ad network. And so these are showing up during the middle of programming. Who watches TV? I was wondering. I don't watch TV, so you'll know more about this than me. But it's during programming that creates a positive mood. So things like American Idol, like it's not going to show up in the middle of the nightly news, if you see what I'm saying. So, so this doesn't look like, oh, it's a PDF. It's not going to work. Hold on. I have it in another spot.
You want me to get it?
No, I got it. I'll just show you a real quick 15-second slot that's on cycling. Is there any way to turn it up?
Oh, yeah.
Crater Lake is featured on the back of the Oregon Quarter. Looks a lot better in color, doesn't it?
Sorry, this clip might not have the.
Oh, they're still beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, this was last year actually. Sorry.
Did you know abandoned dunes in Oregon?
I don't have access to the ones this year. So we have a cycling 15-second slot. I just don't have access to it right now. I'll show you the two-wheeled love story. It's 2 minutes. If you guys haven't seen this, this is pretty great.
Yay, Southern Oregon.
I know.
The dam's gone, by the way.
Once was a Dutchman.
Yay, fish.
He found himself cycling through Oregon when he came across a young lady whose feet were constantly moving in circles too. And so their love affair began. Now, these two would tell you, there's something about seeing the world from the saddle of a two-wheeler. Things pass by just slow enough that you can see the colors, and smell the smells, and taste the tastes, and greet the characters, and breathe the air, which makes for a guaranteed good night's sleep and a healthy appetite for hot coffee and each other. Now this journey will take several decades to unfold, but they can tell you one thing with some certainty. There are not many places in this world that you can dream of spending a good piece of your life on a bicycle, absorbing the wonders around you with your true love by your side, and actually pull it off. The naysayers who tell them to get a haircut, go to an office, and spend their vacation in a car or plane, or lying around with an umbrella drink in their hand. But here in Oregon, people think the drinks taste better when your legs are sore, when your lungs are clear, and you have plenty of inspiration for your next trip.
Yeah, so those two are actually a real couple. Most of our TV segments are showcasing real Oregon dreamers. Sorry. Do you guys want to see the TV slot? Okay.
It's right here.
What are they?
It's right here.
I found a bunch, but they
Yeah.
Is it upside down?
It's a personal problem. Okay.
Oh, it's this one.
You got
Hold
it?
on. I bet you it's this one, yeah. There.
Awesome. Okay. It should be pretty quick for me to open this up. Okay. There we go. I forget when you PDF stuff, it takes away the video files. So, okay, the cycling one is the first one, so I'll just show you that. It's 15 seconds.
There's biking and there's cycling. Some people will ride, some people prefer to spin, while others like to climb to get down. Whatever you call it, Oregon is the place to do it. Yes.
That's it. So that'll be on TV. Okay. Now I've got so many things going, it's kind of slowing down here. Okay. All right. Not too much left to get through here. Okay. So one of the ways we lead people to those digital video clips is through banner ads. And there's actually one that's specific to the scenic bikeways. It says Oregon's the first state in the nation to have scenic bikeways. And it says we've got 9 of them. And it has these little squirrels on bikes riding around on the banner. But you'll see these things showing up on places like Bicycle Magazine, etc. We also have a communications team at Travel Oregon that actually just won a national award last week. They pretty much kick butt, and they've really gotten behind the cycling story. This was some of the early stories that showed up in just sort of local media talking about cycling tourism and beefing up Oregon's economies. When we released the last press release about the new bikeways jointly with Parks and Rec, we also kind of flashed the image and the news headline across Times Square for a little while. This got us into a little bit of trouble, but it was still pretty cool. We'll talk about that over a beer. And then most recently, we actually just hosted Men's Journal, and they're doing a story in, should come out in the June or July issue. We took them on some Central Oregon bikeways as well as the Old West Scenic Bikeway. And just so you guys know, I mean, we're pitching these stories on Oregon's behalf, but these things take a while to brew. So I think we pitched this story to Men's Journal about a year ago. And then finally we had to get a call, and sure enough, the writer's coming out in like 3 days. Can you host me? It's like, okay, sure, let me drop everything. And then lastly, most of you are familiar with the fact that we put together a map with state parks. And this showcases all of the 9 bikeways. We kind of call this an inspiration and orientation piece. It's not necessarily going to be the piece that you take out on the road with you. You probably want to go to Ride Oregon, download the PDF maps, plan your trip. But it should give you enough information to kind of figure out where to start and keep it in your back pocket as you're going through the route. So this one will be updating when we run out, but most likely within the next year with the 2 new bikeways. And this is being distributed for free on TravelOregon.com and through all of State Parks distribution centers. So this is out there. If you have a visitor center or you want to get this into your bike shops, you can order these boxes of maps for free, whether it's through State Parks reservation system or through our 1-800 number, and get a box of maps for yourselves. What's our 1-800 number? I'll look it up and write it down somewhere. Yeah, and it actually probably needs to go through Parks, I would think.
I'll bring that in later.
Roger. Oh, yes, and real quickly, we do have several boxes over there for folks if they want to take home a box today.
Cool.
And I'll bring in the 800 number during the break.
Great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we want to get these out in circulation because pretty soon we'll have a new one. So then the last thing that, and then I'm going to hand it over to Russ and Laura. We are photographing and doing these short promotional videos for each one of the bikeways. So we started with the Old West Scenic Bikeway last fall. Yep, and then they'll be doing 8 more this summer and spring, summer, and fall. So they're going to talk about that. But I will say that once we have the good photography and once we have the video, it makes it so easy, to tell the story of these places. So they're going to talk to you about the details of that, and I'm just going to show you the Old West video and then hand it over.
And before you start that, I will do an introduction for Russ and Laura. Because I asked all the speakers to send me the bios and basically, what their qualifications are to be able to stand up here as an expert. And Russ and Laura's qualifications are they've ridden 18,000 miles of bike touring. So, and they've talked to thousands of bike tourists and are also very skilled at video and writing. So that's why I asked them to be here today, because of these amazing videos they're doing.
Chris, I have a quick question.
Yeah,
for you.
sure.
I know Timberline Tours comes through and does our areas. Has anyone contacted them about doing some sort of a tour with them that would kind of just highlight some of our scenic bikeways? That's one of the big major companies I know that has come through Oregon and fairly, on a regular basis.
Timberline Tours, yeah, I'd be happy to get their information. I mean, by and large, we're doing our best to support local companies. So I'd be interested to know where they're coming from. I mean, definitely we want to promote bike travel around the whole state. So, I mean, a conversation with our inbound tour operators would be a good thing to familiarize them with scenic bikeways. And that's something we can help with through our global sales team, because that's their job, really for us to connect our product with those inbound tour operators. Yeah, so I'd be happy to talk to you about who they are.
They're not going to be local up here. because
That's
they
okay.
Do rides all across the United States.
But yeah, from an economic development perspective, as you guys can imagine, we're trying to support our local businesses as much as possible, but secondarily, those guys. What's that?
Timberline Tours, I'm trying to remember where the heck they're out of, but I just know that I know several people have come to Oregon that we've met, because we do a lot of cycling vacations. And we've met a lot of people through Timberline who've been in Oregon, go, oh yeah, we did the Mackenzie Pass, or we've done, and I'm like, oh, really? Because you live like, not around here anywhere.
Okay, I'm going to take another question at the back.
This one was about 3 years ago that I figured out that those blue signs on the highway that said yes, and they had the logos and said button, is done by Travel Oregon.
No, it's something called the Travel Information Council. Yep, there's another organization.
Is there any ideas to work with those folks to get the scenic bikeways sort of pointed to it or something?
Oh, we should talk to them about that. That would be on our to-do list. Good idea, thanks.
What is that organization again?
The Travel Information Council. Oh, did they change their name? I'm sorry. Yeah, OTE, the Oregon Travel Experience. That's why it sounds like Travel Oregon, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there any other questions for Kristen? Some of the things that are just so ear-catching to me in her presentation was that Travel Oregon is in touch with Men's Journal and tons of other publications a year ago, and then something percolates now. We're always working these things. And it's just amazing. Oh, the other thing I was going to say about the work, Kristen referred several times to certain parts of Travel Oregon, the media, the marketing, starting to really take on the biking and bikeways even more and more. That didn't just happen. That's because Kristen, I think, is the advocate within Travel Oregon saying, we got biking here, and now we have this survey that says biking is a big tourism industry. So that's Kristen doing all that, everything that you see, or actually more to the point, things you don't see, because they're not really directed at you. There's these banner ads for people who are planning their trips to Oregon. So it's so neat, all this stuff that's going on. So
Thanks, Alex. And I'm not really a cycling nut. I mean, I do bike, but for me, my passion is community development. And so I've been working in rural community development for almost 10 years, and that's what communities are asking for, is help with this specific issue. So.
You may have said this already, and I missed it, I'm sorry, but some of the slides you were showing about the economic impact stuff and numbers, if we can't be at the thing tomorrow, how can we access that?
Oh, Travis. You got to come back. We'll probably, we'll have, actually Dean Runyon is the firm that did it. We'll have their presentation up on our conference website because we did it there. I imagine the Active Transportation Summit will post the slideshow, which will have highlights, and then we'll make sure through Alex to let you guys know when we post the final report. We're literally just doing some final editing, and then we'll post it and make sure you get a copy. Yep.
I'm writing that down right now to send that out.
Okay.
Okay, and then everybody-
Yeah, and one more accolades for Russ and Laura before we start. They lived on their bikes for a couple of years and then decided to move to Oregon. So we're really excited that they're here. And in addition to us pitching this story all over the place, these guys have also written a couple of articles for some national publications that they'll probably talk about. Okay, let's have a look at the Old West.
Some people say there's nothing out in Eastern Oregon. They say it's just some rocks and old roads that no one drives on anymore. They say time slows down out there, as if that's a bad thing. We say an empty road is the best kind of road. And there's no point in rushing a good thing. Oregon has some of the most beautiful places in the nation for biking. And it's also one of the most bike-friendly states. That's why it's the first state in the country to have official scenic bikeways. The Old West Scenic Bikeway is a 174-mile loop in Eastern Oregon that begins in John Day. It winds through forests along the John Day River, down a thrilling descent into the town of Monument, and alongside the geologic wonders of the John Day fossil beds. So if you're looking for a real adventure and want to meet the folks and places that make Oregon great, load up your bicycle and pedal this way. Visit a place where your social network is waiting for you at the cafe. And 174 miles of stunning road running beckons. Explore the Old West Scenic Bikeway and discover Eastern Oregon on two wheels.
Do you have anything on here?
We just have that PDF that we wanted to show, the Adventure Cycling Old West.
Awesome. So the big news is that we are coming to the rest of you, at least the rest of you who are designated and on the map currently. This year, we will be out there starting hopefully in May, June sometime, and then through to October, sort of end of the good weather. So we're gonna go out, we're gonna ride them all, we're gonna recruit different talent for each bikeway, and our goal, I see hands waving back there. Our goal is to make sure that each video captures the unique spirit and flavor of your bikeways. So it's going to be really important for us to have conversations with you about what you consider to be, the most important features of your bikeways, the sort of spirit of your bikeway. What is it that you want people to most know about your bikeway? If you have any thoughts about, the sort of people that you most want to capture on your bikeway, like, some of them are going to be more family friendly, some of them might be more kind of roadie rides. So those are all good things for us to know. And you saw the goat in the Old West Scenic Bikeway video. We've learned that animals are very important in videos. So if you have an animal somewhere along your route,
especially cats.
that's a good thing for us to know also. So I came prepared with little flyer things and cards. I would like my assistant here.
Thanks. She's a producer. I just push buttons.
If you are the main contact person for your bikeway, if you can raise your hand, and I'm going to have Russ hand you one of these things. It's just got a couple of questions and points to get you started thinking about how to best market your bikeway. And it's also got our card. Now, if you are standing in for somebody, raise your hand. If there's more than one contact person, that's perfectly fine. We've got extras.
Actually,
Yes.
Laura, if I may interject, I think maybe if you do have enough to hand them out to most people, because even if they're not the main contact, they'll be chatting with the main
Yeah.
contact and brainstorming ideas, so.
All right. I made nicely stapled packets for 8, so the rest of you will have to have 2 separate pieces. So basically, it has our contact information on it, and the little flyer has some pointers to get you started thinking. Before the end of the day, I'm sure we can get all this information from Alex or for Kristen, but if you can come in, introduce yourselves to us and give us your contact information, that will be great, and we will be following up. And we can let you in on sort of our tentative filming schedule. Things aren't nailed down yet, so any input you have will be appreciated.
You only want the existing scenic bikeways.
Right, yeah. Right now we're just gonna wrap up the initial 9. So we did the Old West last year, and we'll do the remaining 8 this year, and then hopefully next year we'll come back around and start picking up the newly designated ones. So.
Did you get everybody?
Right in front, Russ.
You only have one left, so.
Oh, any other questions? All right, well, we'll be here all day today, and if you're at the rest of Oats tomorrow and the next day, we will be there as well, so please come talk to us. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to quickly echo what Laura was saying. From the creative standpoint, we really want to honor your route and your communities and kind of capture that unique flavor. So it's really important that we talk to you guys and start laying that groundwork.
Right. I mean, we can go out and we can find what's most important to us, but we want to make sure that you guys that live out there that know the area really well, that we're capturing what's important for you.
So aside from the video work, we have a website. If you got the card. We've been doing travel writing for the last couple of years, focusing specifically on bicycling. So as pathlesspedaled, we've written for Adventure Cycling, Bicycle Times, Momentum Magazine, and we're constantly pitching stories too, kind of separate but in conjunction with Travel Oregon. And we had a story in American Bicyclists, which is the League of American Bicyclists magazine, and they had that at recently the most national bike summit. And next month, Adventure Cycling is going to run a pretty good spread on the Old West Scenic Bikeway. So this is a complete sneak peek, digital PDF. It might change when it goes to press, but we thought we'd just give you guys a little peek. So we used a fair amount of photography, and it's actually a fairly long article. And what's cool about this piece is Adventure Cycling. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's the largest bicycle touring organization in the U.S. I think they have a membership of about 45,000, and it's constantly growing. Their magazine is going to do a redesign this month. So this issue is actually going to get more than average advertisement, which is great for Old West, but also the Scenic Bikeway program as a whole. So we're really excited to bring that to the table.
And I think the point that Alex was hoping that we would make about this is that the reason that the Old West Scenic Bikeway has gotten so much love over the last year is because it is the one that we've gone out and ridden and taken photos of and taken video of. And as we start getting out and riding the rest of your bikeways, then we can start pitching articles about those ones as well. So don't be jealous, just look at it as potential. Anything else you want to say?
You guys have any questions for us?
All right. Well, that's all we have. Just again, let me just echo, come talk to us at some point today so we can meet you all.
Thanks. Thanks, Russ. Thanks, Laura. That's really exciting stuff that's going to be happening with the videos. And now we are at the break, and I know some people need to shuffle cars, so let's do that, and we'll see you in just about 10 minutes. Hopefully that'll be long enough.